29 years ago, I received a letter from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. This letter came in response to my letter for my 20th birthday. The year was 1992. I was a young man studying in yeshiva in Manchester, England. And as customary, I wrote a letter with my resolution for the coming year, how I would better myself. Imagine, at the time, the Rebbe was getting between 500 to 700 pieces of mail daily. You can imagine that most of these letters had to do with different types of problems, issues, life and death, marriage, major decisions. Well, within 10 days of me writing this letter, I deserved this great honor, for whatever reason, to have a letter responded to me. The Rebbe responds that he got my letter. He will pray for me and I should be successful. Now you might say, okay, that's pretty standard. Well, it isn't. Because at the time, the Rebbe was only answering things which were of top priority. What did I write in my letter? In my letter, I simply wrote the following. Every day in yeshiva, we had 4 periods of learning. One before the prayer, one after the service, one in the afternoon, and one at night. I would be on time for each one of these periods, with my book already open, already studying when the clock hits 7:30. Not only that, I wrote to the Rebbe, my resolution would be that for the first 10 minutes, I would not speak to anyone. I want to tell you, it might seem like nothing, but for the Rebbe, this was the greatest source of nachas, the greatest source of pleasure. To be able to see that someone is ready to dedicate something which is in his reach, 10 minutes, and do it with a full dedication and a full commitment. I want to tell you it was the best year in all of my yeshiva years. Because once I had the first 10 minutes, then suddenly my whole day was full, was focused, and concentrated. This reminds me of a story of my good friend, Rabbi Shmuel Mendelssohn. Rabbi Shmuel Mendelssohn, many, many years ago, did one of the first Jewish day camps. And he told me, you won't believe it. I put ads in the newspapers. I put flyers all over the place. We didn't have social networking at the time. And only three kids showed up to my day camp. Weeks and weeks, 3 kids. He considered it a pretty big failure. But nevertheless, as a true chassid to the Rebbe, he wrote a letter back to the Rebbe, giving a report. The Rebbe showered him with blessings. He never understood this letter. Such blessings, he tells me, I never received in any of the other letters I wrote to the Rebbe. Later on, he realized how one of these children became observant and made his whole family observant. Another one married a Jew. I think even a third one became eventually a shliach and transformed the lives of many. The Rebbe wasn't looking at the quantity. He was looking at the quality, at the impact. And that impact, the Rebbe knew that when you're able to encourage someone in his small effort, then the ripple effect is so great that it can transform the world. This Shabbat, Yud Shvat, will be celebrating 70 years of this great leadership of our Rebbe, which promised us that our generation is the generation of redemption, of Geulah. Let us celebrate together. Let us take upon ourselves to study more about the teachings of the Rebbe, this giant leader which continues to inspire not only his movement, the Chabad movement, but all of the Jewish people, and as well many, many Jewish and non-Jewish leaders. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us. We should get ourselves ready and understand the last message the Rebbe gave us. Our generation is the last generation of exile and the first one of redemption. The same way we came out of Egypt, so too, the same God that took us out of Egypt will take us out of this bitter exile, and we'll be able to go from darkness to light, from bitterness to sweetness, and finally experience what it means to be reunited with our loved ones in Jerusalem, rebuilt very soon. God bless you.